It was a new day, and that meant new coffee and a repeat of the regular sequence of elevators, small talk with baristas, and praying for minimal interaction with other soggy people. Today, however, the routine was derailed almost as soon as it had left the station. Kirsten and I were just about to leave our office building on the way out to coffee when my phone started to ring. As a general rule, I rarely answer the phone. As a millennial, I've become conditioned to the fact that the majority of the time, when the phone rings, someone is trying to scam me or sell me some shit I don't need. I have developed quite a powerful filter in my brain for screening phone calls. I did, however, have an encyclopedic knowledge of the area codes in and around the Syntactic offices, so I could tell at a glance when someone from work was likely to be calling me. As the person in charge of the Blue Team, this was a valuable skill, since people tend to jump on the phone when the shit has well and truly hit the fan. I answered the phone to discover Veronica, our head of facilities, on the other end. "Hi, Six. Bad news. We have another recruit in the office, and this one is getting pretty fired up." I could hear raised voices in the background, and Veronica had to pause our conversation so she could intervene in whatever situation was unfolding before her. She was based in our Boston office and had a thick Boston accent, so although I was trying my hardest to listen in, it wasn't the easiest proposition to my untrained ear. Veronica eventually came back on the line. "I'll call you back. We're going to be calling the police," she said before disappearing into the abyss of a dial tone. "Shit. Sounds like things are kicking off in Boston. Let's get back upstairs," I said to Kirsten, knowing that our coffee expedition had just been significantly deprioritized. We rushed to our desks and logged into our security camera system, which we had full remote access to. We could see a selection of cameras in every office around the country and immediately focused on the Boston reception area. At this point, the area was filled with a selection of folks, including Veronica, who was front and center, the office manager, and a handful of other Syntactic employees who'd obviously emerged from behind the scenes to assist. We cranked up the volume to listen in to the feed from the camera. Veronica was doing her best to de-escalate an obviously fired-up man who was demanding that he be refunded his money. "Just give me the $500 back and I'll leave," he could be heard saying. "I'm so sorry, but you are the victim of a scam. You'll need to report what happened to the police. I promise you no one here has taken your money," Veronica reiterated. "Wow, this is getting extremely sketchy," Kirsten said while leaning over me to view the feed. "What else can we do?" "We probably need to have them lock down the reception area in case more folks are showing up," I suggested. "Let's see if we can get Veronica back on the line when things settle down over there." This was an unusual one for me. It was most definitely a physical security threat, but one that manifested itself in the digital realm and was, for all intents and purposes, a cyber attack, albeit a cyber attack happening against people who didn't work at our company and on infrastructure we didn't own or otherwise control. "Did we ever hear back from those abuse reports?" Kirsten asked. "Nothing yet," I replied, refreshing my inbox on my phone. "I'm not expecting anything, to be honest, at least not for a couple of days." Abuse processes often felt like throwing things into a black hole of inaction, but they were always what you were directed to follow in the event you tried to take any other path to report an issue to a company, especially a company that provided hosting services. "I think we need a fast track to get a hold of someone at Global Identities and Domains," I said. "Let me see if I know anyone that works there and likes me." I opened up LinkedIn and began the process of ignoring the home feed that was full of the usual made-up inspirational stories. You know the type. They usually tell tales of how a man saved a dog from a freezing lake, and how that dog turned out to be owned by a venture capital investor who gave the man $1 million. I headed to the people search function. I searched for connections who worked at Global Identities and Domains to see if there were any that I actually knew from real-life interactions. I had 3 connections there. 2 of them I had no clue about, but the third was a former coworker who I'd helped out once before with an identity theft issue several years earlier.